because you are the future. And this is my key message to you today. The future, I believe today, is here, in this room. The future is what you, or I would say we, will make of it. And this starts now. Mes très chers amis,
there's always the idea that nobody knows the future, but yet people are always predicting the future, right? But really, nobody knows the future. But if you don't know the future, then you can only anticipate anything.
The leading idea is using the future, using what you are seeing about the future in order to reshape what you are presently seeing in the present.
The title of the book, Transforming the Future, is meant to elicit this idea that we're changing the way we think about the future, but that will change the future.
There are ways in which humanity has, over centuries and millennia, tried to pierce through this veil of uncertainty and through this veil of ignorance. Futures Knowledge Laboratories come to terms with the fact that there is no way to pierce it.
La question du futur, en réalité, c'est une question du présent, en réalité. Et parler de laboratoire du futur, c'est d'une certaine façon rendre concret cette aspiration, ce désir-là d'inventer le futur.
It's a very rigorous and strong methodology in its design. But in its content, it's very open, soft, because it's filled with people and special topics. The learning process has three phases. The first one, we call it from tacit to explicit. The second one is the reframing, the aha moment. And the third, it's new answers, but also, and more important, new questions.
It was really interesting to see the different methodology that is forcing us to think in such different terms than we're used to. In all of my training in school and graduate school and in work, I had never been forced to think in those ways. So I think it's been quite a learning experience for me as a participant, as a peer facilitator, to have to bring those structures down that shape the way I think and try to see what kind of thoughts I can come up with when I'm not restricted by those kinds of boundaries.
This is not just concerning young people. I mean, we've done it with elderly groups, we've done it with professionals, experts, who immediately get, not immediately, but they do get the hang of it, that it's really about bringing in your imagination, your creativity, but also the emancipatory effect of, oh, I can really open my mind and think differently about things that until now I felt constrained about because things are done a certain way and we perpetuate those models without questioning them.
If you give people an experience with constructing their own models, they become more able to tell stories and invent things.
De façon concrète, comment est-ce que nos laboratoires sont organisés? Ce matin, par exemple, nous avons commencé par réfléchir à l'état du monde, ou à comment nous imaginons un peu l'état du monde à l'horizon 2040. Et sur cette base, nous avons ensuite réfléchi au monde que nous souhaiterions inventer, ou au monde que nous souhaiterions avoir les uns et les autres à cet horizon-là, à cet horizon 2040. Et donc, par rapport à ça, cet après-midi, nous étions en train de travailler sur des idées concrètes, des actions pratiques à mettre en œuvre, voilà, pour justement concrétiser, pour donner corps à ce futur-là que nous voulons inventer.
Transforming the future, anticipation of the 21st century will provide evidence that we can change the way people use the future. And we can do it all around the world from where they are, starting from their context, their culture.
We have deployed this methodology in all contexts, from local development through social innovation, even to the national security issues. Given that foresight is applicable to a very, very vast field of different topics, including all the fields that compose the mandate of UNESCO, I'm not surprised that it is here that the cutting edge of foresight methodology is actually taking real shape and reaching out into the future.
A process like the Futures Knowledge Lab is a valiant step in the right direction towards propagating a mode of thought, a set of tools, a set of perspectives, and a vocabulary that at some level everyone can use. Whether they are designated decision makers and political representatives, or citizens, or teachers, or lawyers, or business people.
Thinking about the future can be done in different ways for different purposes with different techniques and different approaches. So that's a very, sort of basic capacity to be in control of the way you use the future. So that's the basic aspect of futures literacy. That entails a certain sort of skill at being able to construct stories, because you basically talk about the future in terms of stories, and how you invent and build those stories becomes an important skill in the context of futures literacy.
In a way, the first step towards an increased futures literacy is a sort of introspective awareness of the fact that one is already engaging with possible futures.
Foresight, to me, is always challenging us to look at it differently, and so that we're able to do more. We're able to be mobile in our present location and be able to do something that you can continuously contribute to the world. So it's for everybody.